What is up YouTube, Bunny Films here with a brand new video, and today I finally present to you how to script a cafe, the new version. So the last time I did this scripting tutorial, it was such a long time ago, probably one of the oldest videos on my channel, and the code still works, don't get me wrong, but people will just make assumptions that it does not work because of the date and how old it is. But I can assure you that in today's video, well, in the next few videos, I don't know how this is going to go yet, I can assure you that you will have a fully functional cafe, and I will teach you how to build and script everything. So that does include trash bins, that includes handing items to a player, and that does include a leaderboard, leaderboard with your rank and points. This includes a restaurant model, a hamburger. So we're gonna script a hamburger, and I'll show you how that works, and then later on we might actually do some more food, and basically you'll be able to pick up a raw hamburger, cook it on a grill like so. Then you'll be able to put a bun on it, and it's a hamburger, and you will even be able to put cheese on it, and it's a cheeseburger. And then you'll even be able to hand it to this player. Let's see, player 1. Type the name in, press enter, and the food gets handed to them. And if they accept it on their side, then they get the food, and then you get a point on the leaderboard. So we're going to go ahead and script all of that in today's video or series of videos, so let's get started. Alrighty everyone, so once you create the place on Roblox, you want to go ahead and press edit and head into Studio. Once you're in Studio, we're going to go ahead and create a few things. The first thing we're going to focus on making is the actual models for the hamburger maker, or the hamburger buns, the hamburger cheese, well yeah, just cheese, the grill, and then the fridge that holds the meat. We're going to keep things simple, and later on we will actually make actual models. But for now we're just going to stick with making simple parts to keep this very simple and easy to explain. We're going to start off by spawning in a part. We're going to make this we'll do 4 by 3 like that, and then we're going to name this food detector. Food detector, my apologies, food. There we go, food detector. And then we're going to insert a script into there later. But for now, we're actually going to go ahead. Let's close that. We're going to make a folder, and we're going to name this hamburger kit, or burger set. We'll just name it burger set. And this will all be a free model, by the way. So you do need to watch this, because there are things you will need to change in the code. And if you don't change it, then it will not work for your game. So it is imperative that you do watch this, but there will be a free model in the description and in the comments section, which you can play on and actually copy. But watch the video. So next up, once we have the burger set folder created, we're going to insert let's make a burger really quickly. So we're going to start off, we're just going to make simple things. We're going to make this into a cutting board, change that to that. There we go. We're going to make this material wood, and then make this, we'll go for that. There we go. So this is going to be the starter cutting board. We're going to keep things organized and name it cutting board. And later on we will get to scripting, but right now I'm doing literally everything step by step. So it's very, very easy. So once we have the cutting board made, we're going to go ahead and create the hamburger, which is just going to be a cylinder. We're going to go ahead and do this 0.25. There we go. And that's going to be the hamburger. We're going to make this slate, and then we're going to change it to, we'll go like that. There we go. Oh. And then we'll actually make it a bit lighter because it is raw meat, like that. There we go. And we'll slide this on top right here, and actually make it like this. Boom. So later on this will be changed, don't get me wrong, but this will be in a future episode. We will actually make this into a proper model. Right now I'm just trying to create basic models so that it's as easy as possible to understand. So once we have these 3 parts created, we're going to name these hamburgers. There we go. Oh, and by the way, to open these things on the side, because when you open Studio, you might not have those windows open. You want to go to the top, you want to press View, you want to press Explorer. Now we'll open this here, and then you want to open Properties, which will open this, which shows you the properties for each individual part selected, or whatever you have selected. We're going to name this Hamburgers. And there we go. So under name it Hamburgers, and as you can see, they're all 3 are named Hamburgers. We're going to go ahead and group this, and we're going to make this into the burger giver. So when the player comes up to this and they put their hand, or when they click it, they will be handed a hamburger. So we actually need to make a clicker box now. Well, a box for where the player clicks, it will be detected. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate the cutting board. We're going to size it up like this. We're going to make it transparency 1, turn can collide off, and we're going to turn this into food detect. I think we need to change it to food giver. So let's do food giver, because this is going to give you food, and then later on we'll change it to food detector when we want to add cheese and stuff like that. So once we have the food giver built, we want to go ahead and add a click detector like that. You want to search click detector, add that in right there. And one change we do need to make really quickly is that we need to change the name of the food giver to the name of the actual food item it is going to give the player. Since it's going to give the player a raw hamburger, and that's what the tool name is going to be, we have to name it raw hamburger. This will make it easier so we don't have to add a script under every single food giver, because if we do it, that just won't be really efficient to run. And that way we'll have one central script that will detect whether the player clicks it, and if the player clicks the block and the block's name is raw hamburger, then the player gets given the tool raw hamburger, and the tool is the food, obviously. So once we have that created, we want to go ahead and make sure everything is anchored, and then we will move on to the next step. Alrighty, so the next step is actually building a grill to cook the hamburger on. Before we do build it, we're going to go ahead and take burger giver and put it under burger set. That way we keep things organized. Actually, yeah, wait, food detector. Hold on. Raw hamburger. Okay, so that's old, I think. So we'll just delete that. I don't know where that came from. But once we have that built, and we have the cutting board hamburgers and raw hamburger down here, and you have the click detector under raw hamburger, we're going to go ahead and create another model for the grill. To keep things simple, we're just going to make a pretty simple and minimalistic grill. It's going to look like this. Do like that. We'll make this diamond plate, nice and like that. And then on the top, we will go like this, slide down, and go over like that. And then finally, we'll change this to, I guess we can try cobblestone. Let's go for metal. There we go. We'll just go for metal, and then we'll do move 0.1, slide that all the way down. Let's just change that to 0.25. There we go. So now we have the two parts for the grill. We'll just name these grill part. And what we now need to do is create the little detector part that will detect if the hamburger is being held within it. So what we need to do is we're going to take the grill part, we're going to duplicate it, move it up like this. Actually, we're going to take, it doesn't matter, we'll just do this and we'll place it up here like that. We'll make it invisible, we'll turn can collide off, that way the player can walk through it and it won't be like there's an invisible block. And we're going to name this food detector. There we go. And then we're going to add a sound, and this sound I actually have a URL for. Let me open that up really quickly. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do copy and paste. There we go. So I will have all of the sound IDs copied below, but I will read the numbers off. It is 1 8 6 5 4 3 8 5 3 6. That is the sound ID, but I will also have the just copy and paste it in the description below. We're going to change this to sizzle because that's the sound effect it plays. So you can even press play. And I don't have my speakers on, but I assume that did play a sizzling sound. Next up, we're going to add a script, which we will modify later. You can just close out of that for now, and we're going to name this food converter. So once we have that done, we need to make it so the player can add buns to the hamburger and cheese. So with the cheese, I don't know if cheese goes on a burger before or after it's cooked. I think it goes on before, but for the restaurant, it's going to go on after, just for sanity. But we're going to go ahead and duplicate the burger giver. We're going to name this bun giver. And then once we go under bun giver, we want to go ahead and delete. Well, we'll keep the hamburgers for now. We're going to recolor this to be a bun like that. And we'll make it, we'll do concrete, I guess. And then we'll go like whoop, like that. So it's a bit larger. It doesn't exactly fit on the cutting plate. Let's just go ahead and rename these buns. There we go. And let's make sure they're all fitting on the cutting board nicely. There we go. And then the buns, we'll move this here and move that there. There we go. So this is the bun giver. And now under here, what we need to do is we need to name this bread. So we're just going to name this, or buns bread. We're just going to name it buns. And then under here, we're going to change this from raw hamburger to food detector, like so. And then underneath, we will have to delete the click detector, and we're going to add another script, and we're going to call this food converter, like that. There we go. Same as the other one we made for the grill. So once we have buns made, we're going to go ahead and make one more, and that's going to be for the cheese. So same thing, we're just going to rename this cheese. We're going to go under here. We're going to change this from buns to cheese, just to keep it organized. Keep the cutting board, and then under food detector, you have the food converter script with nothing in it. So that's how we're going to keep it for now. We're going to make this actually look like cheese. So we're going to go nice yellow. We're going to change this to plastic. And then, let's see, can I make these parts into shape? Well, there we go. Cheese. Simple. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and make sure all three of those models are under the burger set. Actually, we have to group the grill as well. So I just do Control G, or you can press group up here to make sure it's grouped, and that's what makes it all into a model. So once you have the model made, we're just going to name this grill. There we go, and we'll put this under the burger set. So this is going well so far. We're going to go ahead and make sure all of these are anchored by going like that. There we go. Press anchor up here, and all of them will be anchored. Now let's go ahead and we're going to actually move these up so they're floating a bit, but that way we'll actually be able to reach them when we hold out the hamburger. Let's go ahead and press play to make sure nothing does fall down and everything is working. As you can see, we have the click detector here, but it doesn't do anything yet. We have the grill here. You can jump on it, you can jump on this, and you can jump on this, and you won't be able to tell there's an invisible block. Everything looks good so far, so let's move on to the next part. So the next part is actually making the food item. So what we need to do is we need to right click, insert object, search tool. I saw it right there. Press tool, and that will create a tool under the workspace. We're going to go ahead and rename this raw hamburger. And it needs to be named raw hamburger. It needs to match the name of this block right here, the block that the player will click. And if it does not match the name, then the tool will not be given, because that's how we are going to script it. So make sure that the name of the tool matches the name of the giver. That way when the player clicks it, they are given the tool, or the food item. Tool, food item, that's the same thing. So once we have the hamburger made, we need to actually make the model for the burger. What we're going to do is we're going to actually we'll not duplicate that. We're going to go ahead and make the burger. We'll start off by making a cylinder, like so. We're actually going to go ahead and insert a person, just so we have something for scale. And once we do that, under plugins, you can spawn in a NPC, I think. I don't know. But once we have that, we're going to make a burger. It's going to be like this. And later on, the burger will be changed to actually have a much better model. But right now, we're just doing this for the sake of time. So once we have this made, we're going to go ahead and color this like a raw hamburger. We're just going to go like brown or pine cone, and then we'll slide it down to raw like that. Change the material to slate, which is right here. There we go. So change it to slate. And then we'll name this part hamburger. It is important that you do name these parts according to what they are, because if you don't, then they won't become visible. Next up, we need to go ahead and add the cheese. So we'll just duplicate hamburger, put it on top like that. We'll name this cheese, and we'll make this a bit smaller. So we're going to change the scale down to 0.1. That way it's thinner, and we can go like 1 and 1 like that. And there we go. And then we'll make this plastic. We'll make this yellow. There we go. So that's the cheese. And then we need to go ahead and make the bun. So the bun, what I did was I actually made a sphere, and I made this 1 by 1 by 1. We're going to put this at the position of the burger. So we're going to go ahead and copy that and paste that right here. There we go. So as you can see, it's inside of the burger. And now what we're going to do is, let's do 0.25. I haven't done this in a very long time. We're going to go ahead and see if this actually works. So it's like that. And then we're going to slide this over. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to like do this, this, and this. And we're going to do some nice modeling. So we're going to press negate on the top under model. And then we're going to do union like that. There we go. And that will make a nice hole between the burger and the future bun. And we're going to change this to use part color. That way we can color the part. We're going to make this a bun color. That's not a bun color. There we go. And then we'll make this into plastic. Yeah, it's already plastic. So once it's like that, we'll go ahead, and we do need to make it so it actually fits the burger, because if we slide it in, as you can see, it's a bit of a big bun. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go copy, or yeah, we're going to go like this. We're going to actually go up here. We're going to cut off the top of it. So the top of it's going to be flat. So we'll do that up there. Do Control D to duplicate it. Go down here like that. Select them both by holding down Control. Press negate. And then we're going to select the inside by holding down Control and clicking. And then that'll select the future bun. And then we press Union. And we have a nice bun so far. The bun is slightly large. That's actually very large. Let's see. 0.25. Let's see if we can actually... There we go. I think that's a really nice bun. So we're going to name this Union a bun. There we go. And we're going to slide it over to the rest of the hamburger. I think we do need to resize the cheese, though, so that the player can actually see that it's there. So we're going to go like that. And that. And... that, and oh no, Control Z. We're gonna have it. I'm gonna resize it really quickly. And now that our wonky hamburger model has been made, we need to go ahead and add one more thing to it. You can also add more things to it, like seeds or poppy seed. I don't know what they are, but there's like seeds sometimes on the top of hamburger buns. But what we're gonna do instead is we need to actually make a handle for it. That way, when the player holds it, it has somewhere to attach to. So we're going to go ahead and create a block. We're going to make this 1 by 1 by 1. There we go. And we need to make sure, I don't know exactly how handles work, but we need to make sure that the front surface is actually facing downward, according to my other model that I made. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that's facing downward. Let's go ahead and move that up so we have some proper lighting. As you can see that if we click front surface under properties, it will highlight it. And as you can see, it is facing downwards. We're going to go ahead and move this over here. Like so, and like that. I believe we're gonna go ahead and resize it really quickly. There we go. And I think this should work. I don't know exactly for sure, but then we need to name it handle. So once we have all of that made, we're gonna go ahead and put this under, we're gonna do control, well actually no, we're gonna put this under raw hamburger, the tool, and then we're gonna make the handle transparent and turn can collide off. You want to make sure that none of this is anchored, because if it is, then the player will teleport to where the item is instead of it being handed to them properly. But there is one more script that we do have to put in here before we can actually hold the item. This is a Weld Script. There's plenty of them available online. You can also install plugins like welding. I don't know what this plugin's called, but it's like you select the parts and then it will weld it together. And what welds do is basically it holds all of the parts together and they won't be anchored, and yeah, that's it basically. So it won't fall apart, because if we press play and we hold it, it will fall apart. So what we need to do is we need to create a small script, which is just something I found online a while ago, I think. So we're gonna go ahead, add a script, and we're gonna name this Weld. So this is what it's going to do. I don't know exactly how this script works, because this is not my script. I don't know where it came from, but basically all tools on Roblox have to be welded, or else they will like just crumble. So we're going to do local previous or prev, and then we'll do local. Oops. Okay. Local part equals script dot parent, and then we'll do this to get children. So basically this is going to get all of the parts down here, so the bun, cheese, hamburger, and handle. It will get all of them and it'll label them as parts. Then we're going to go ahead and do a for loop. So for I equals 1 comma hashtag parts do, press enter, and it'll automatically create an end. And then this is going to be a long line of code we have to write. So we're going to do if the parentheses parts I dot class name equals part, and then so basically this is going to be like if it's like a part or a union or a wedge or a handle, or the name is handle, then it will weld it, because you can't weld scripts, and I think that might give an error if you try to weld a script to something, because the script is inanimate. So anyways, we're going to do that, and then we'll do or, and then we can actually change this, or actually we can just copy this and paste, and then or, paste, and then or, paste. So you want to have this pasted 4 times. It's just faster than typing it out. And then we're going to go ahead, head over here to the second one. We're going to change this to handle, We'll change the third one to wedge part. And then the fourth one is going to be changed to union operation. Like so. There we go. And once we have that typed out, you want to go ahead and head over to the end. And we're going to say then. Because this is an if statement, you have to do if then. So, yeah. And then we need to do if is not equal to nil, then. So once we have that typed out, I had that like copied and pasted, because if I type a tilde, then basically it pauses OBS. So I've done this 3 times already, so I just copied and pasted that there. But you want to press enter from that. And let me pull up the other, my reference really quickly. There we go. So if preference is not, or previous is not equal to nil, then press enter. We're going to go ahead and do local weld is equal to instance.new, and then we're going to do quotes and then weld. Press enter. Oh, whoops. Come on, there we go. And then weld.part0 equals previous. And then weld.part1 equals parts I. There we go. So once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and press enter and do weld.c0 equals previous.cframe, and then colon inverse, and then parentheses, and then do weld.c1 equals parts. Actually, we'll make this bigger so it's more visible. So we'll do parts, and then bracket I dot C frame, and then inverse. Like so. There we go. Press enter, and then weld dot parent equals previous, and then parts, and then I equals, or excuse me, dot anchored equals false. So in case it is accidentally anchored, it will be unanchored, because if it is anchored, then the player will teleport to wherever the tool is actually in the world. So then we need to do previous equals parts bracket I. There we go. And you want to make sure that is outside of the second if statement while being inside of the first if statement, like so. So once we have that done, and I did do this while I was playing because I've done the script 3 times now, we're going to go ahead and copy that just in case it doesn't transfer over, which it did luckily. So once you're done typing that, you want to go ahead and press play. Wait for it to load. And as you can see, hold it. And the hamburger's there. So we do need to make some brief adjustments to it, because as you can see, it's not really right yet. So we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get this back into the workspace. I think if I rotate the handle 90 degrees, maybe. We'll try that out. We'll try doing that. There we go. So this is the second attempt. Let's go ahead and put that back under starter pack, and we'll press play again. And let's see if it works on the second time. It might be upside down. It might be the wrong way. Who knows? I think it's inside of my hand. Yeah, it's inside of my hand right now. Oh boy, okay. Give me a moment and I will fix it. Alrighty, so the problem with it is that the top surface of the handle must be facing away from the player. I do apologize for this error, but just rotating it 90 degrees clockwise should give you the intended result. So we'll go ahead and put this back under starter pack and press play again. And I haven't worked with this model in a year. It's 1 year old, but everything still does work. If we hold it, so after rotating it, it does seem to be working now. We're going to go ahead and move the handle up a bit more like so that the player is actually holding it. Let's go ahead and put this under starter pack again, press play, and this should work this time. As you can see, we hold it, and as you can see, we do have to move the handle a bit more, but the hamburger is now visible in the player's hand. Let's go ahead and change that really quickly, move the handle forward, and then we can move on with some more scripting and model building. So let's see if that works this time. Really quickly, want to make sure that it does work before we do move on. Let's play again. Raw hamburger, as you can see, it does work, and it's in the player's hand. One thing I do notice is that it is not can collide, so there are a few issues with that. What we want to do is we want to select all of the parts underneath the model and turn can collide off. So now the player will not collide with anything while holding the hamburger. So let's move on to the next step. Alrighty everyone, so the next step is making it so when the player clicks the hamburgers here, the player is given the hamburger. But what we need to do first is we need to go to the tool, and we need to make sure that all of the parts except for the hamburger are invisible. So we're going to go ahead and change the transparency to 1, and that way only the raw hamburger is visible, and later on those will the buns and the cheese will become visible once the tool is touched by by the bread and the cheese. So now that those are invisible, we can finally add it back into the starter. We'll add this under server storage, place that there. We'll delete the dummy for now. And now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and create a local script under character or starter character scripts. So local script. And this script is going to allow us to click items, and then based on the item's name, it will give the player the named item. We're going to go ahead and do player equals game.players.local player. And this will give us whoever, like the player's name basically, who the player is. And then we're going to do mouse equals mouse equals player get mouse, because we need to get the player's mouse. Local give equals game get service, and then replicate storage. And then we need to do, actually we do need to add a event really quickly. So before we do code the rest of that, we need to go under replicated storage. We're going to go under that, and then we do need to add a few events so that it's easier to send data and it works with filtering enabled. So under this, we're going to go ahead and do a folder. We're going to name this events, and then we're going to add an event. So event. We're going to add a remote event, and this is going to be named give. So when the player clicks this, they'll be given that item. So once we do this, we're going to go under the local script we were working on, and we're going to do game.get service replicated storage dot events, and then wait for child, and then parentheses give. So basically that will wait for the item to, or the event to actually be added into the game while it's loading, because if you call it too early, then it will it will give the player an error. That way the script does wait for it to actually be valid instead of nil. Next up, we need to go ahead and do the click detector thing. So mouse.button 1 down, connect, and then do a parenthesis, and then function, and then like that. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and press enter. And as you can see, we need to make sure that we do have the parenthesis over here and over here, because this is a function. So we need to do if mouse.target equals nil, then return end. And then we need to do another if statement, if mouse.target, and then find first. Find first child. Parenthesis click detector. Alrighty, so I accidentally did type another tilde again, so we're gonna make sure your script does look like this. So if mouse.target find first child click detector, then disregard what I was typing. We're gonna type that later. We're gonna do then, and then go down here, and we're gonna go give fire server, and then mouse.target name. So once we have that done, disregard that script. I have to get rid of it because I accidentally paused OBS again. One correction we do need to make, we need to go to the first line and change this game.players. And now that we have that done, we need to actually make the script that will fire once this event is fired. So under server script service, we're going to add a script in, get rid of the hello world, and we're going to begin typing a few things. Local remote events equals game get service, and then replicated storage, and then we're going to do wait for child events. We're going to press enter, do local give equals remote events, wait for child, parentheses give. There we go. Press enter again, and then we're going to do a function. So give dot on server event connect, and then parenthesis function, and then player, comma, tool. Go over one, press enter, make sure that the end does have a parentheses at the end of it. We're going to do local tool equals game colon get service, server storage, wait for child, tool. Press enter, and I'll explain what this all does in a moment. And then we're going to do local tool clone equals tool clone. Oh my goodness, clone. And then tool clone dot parent equals player dot backpack. Alrighty, let's explain what this does. So basically this event will fire when, this function will fire when the give event is fired by our other local script. And what this will do, it will transmit the who the player is, and then the tool. And the tool is actually what the player clicked, but that's why it is essential that it also matches the name of the tool under server storage. So we're storing all of the hamburgers and food under server storage. That way we can just continue referencing it in the script. And then it basically clones it and puts it in the player's backpack. Let's go ahead and test to make sure this works, and then we can move on. Oh yeah, and by the way, under view, you want to make sure that you do turn on output because it will show you any errors you have. So as you can see, we do have hello world, disregard that. As you can see, we do have an error on click give line 5 incomplete statement. Let's go ahead and look at that really quickly. Alrighty, so I don't think you guys had an error, but whenever I press pause for OBS, it copies and pastes to tilde. I can't control that, so the script should be fine on your end. We're going to go ahead and press play again. That's one of the downsides of using the Stream Deck. Whenever I press the pause button, it does weird things. So let's go ahead and click this. And as you can see, we have the raw hamburger in our hand. Yay! So there's nothing you can do with this right now except hold it and walk around with it. Maybe you can show your friends, hey, look, I have a raw hamburger. But you can't grill it yet. You can't add bun to it. You can't add cheese. You can't do anything. So we're going to go ahead and work on that now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to script the grill, the buns, and the cheese so that when the player touches them while holding a hamburger, the respective item will be acted upon. So the bun will become visible, the cheese will become visible, and the burger will be grilled. So under the grill, we already created the script, the food converter. Let's go ahead and open that, delete the print hello world, and we're going to begin typing a function that will, or it's like an on touch function basically. So when the player touches it, or when it's touched and the name is raw hamburger, then stuff happens. So we're going to do script dot parent dot touch colon connect function food, and food is going to send the name of the item. We're going to press enter and then do if food dot parent dot name equals raw hamburger, and then we're going to do then enter food.parent.name equals hamburger. So this is going to change the name of the tool, which is important. We're going to also do food.parent.hamburger.brick color equals brick color.new, and then parentheses brown. So this is going to make the hamburger brown instead of the raw color we have set right now, which is a lighter brown. And then we're going to press enter again and do script.parent.sizzle play. So that will also play the sound effect when we touch it with our hamburger. Let's go ahead and test it and see if this works. And oh no. Oh, another typo. My apologies. Let's go under the script again. Connect. I apologize for all these typos. I try typing really quickly, but stuff happens. Anyways, so as you can see, the grill is here now. Let's go ahead and get our hamburger, and we're going to touch it, and it's a hamburger. And another typo has plagued us. So, let's do script.parent. No, parent. There we go. And we're going to test this out one more time, make sure it does work, and then we will move on to the cheese and the buns. Get the hamburger, touch it. As you can see, sizzle sound plays, hamburger is brown, and then we're going to move on to the bun and the cheese. So those two scripts are going to be very similar. We're going to go under the cheese one first. Well, actually, no, we're going to do the buns first. That way it's in order. So let's go over here under food, converter. We're going to go ahead and open this script up, get rid of the hello world. And what you can do is actually you can copy this from the other one from the grill. We'll do that. We're going to paste this here and get rid of all of the stuff in the middle, except leave these lines that I have right now. This is just going to make things easier. We're going to go ahead and copy this as well. Go under the cheese, and we're going to open it up, go under that food converter, and paste it in like so. We're going to modify that in a moment, but for now we're going to go back under the buns, go to the food converter script, and we're going to begin editing this so it will actually make the bun visible. So food.parent.name, instead of having it set to raw hamburger, you want to have it set to hamburger. This will make sure that the hamburger is actually cooked, because you don't want to serve your customers raw burgers, because that's not very healthy. So if it's cooked, so basically if the name is hamburger, then the name is going to be hamburger with bun. We need to keep it short, or else if it's too long, then it gets cut off and weird things happen. So if it will change the name to that, and then food.parent.bun.transparency equals 0, and then yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and just verify that the bun, so yeah, you want to address the bun here, which is bun, the name is bun, so food.parent.bun.transparency equals 0. And then for the cheese script, we'll go over here, and we'll do food converter here. If food.name is, we'll just go ahead and copy this, hamburger with bun. So that's if it has a bun, then we'll name this cheeseburger. And then we'll do food.parent.cheese.transparency equals true. Like that. There we go. So let's go ahead and test this out, see if there's any more typos. And that will be it for now. So as you can see, models are there. Click the hamburger. See, you can't put a bun on it. You can't put cheese on it because it's not cooked. We're going to go ahead and make this into a regular hamburger. Place this up here. As you can see, our beautiful bun is visible. Yay. And now we can go ahead and add cheese. Oh, burger's slightly upside down, but it works and it is great. So that is going to be it for today's video. I would have made it longer, but my voice is really hurting right now from all of this talking. But in the next video, we will begin setting up the give system, the data stores, and all of the important scripts. Right now, or today, all we focused on was making the basic models that are essential for this burger kit. What we did accomplish in today's video, we made the models, we made the scripts so the player can actually make food. But tomorrow, well, in the next video, which will be out soon, don't worry. So in the next video, we will add the ability to give food to different players, and we will add the ability to store players' data, create a leaderboard, and that's basically it. It's a very simple thing to do. It just takes some time. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. I will be making kits of unique food in the future. But until then, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in a video sometime soon. Goodbye!